Oh, difficult conversations. They never get easier, do they? But you learn to navigate them. I remember one with my daughter Chloe when she was about 15. She wanted to drop out of this highly competitive summer program she'd committed to, a real opportunity for her future. My immediate reaction was frustration, anger even. I'd invested so much, we all had. But I paused. I thought, what's the real issue here? So, instead of lecturing, I just listened, really listened, for an hour. She felt overwhelmed, not good enough, like she was failing. My heart ached for her. It was tough. I had to let go of my expectation of what she should do and focus on her well-being. We decided she'd finish that week, then reassess. She didn't stay the full program, but she learned invaluable lessons about managing pressure. And our relationship? Stronger. Because she knew I valued her feelings over my ambitions for her. It was about connection, not control. Early in my career, I was leading a project with a team split between our US office and our Bangalore office. There was this consistent issue with deadlines. I'd set a firm date, and they'd often miss it. My initial thought was, are they just not understanding the urgency? Is it a commitment issue? It was causing real friction. So instead of just sending more demanding emails, I decided to spend a week in Bangalore. I didn't just work, I observed. I saw that in their culture, saying no directly to a superior, or even admitting a challenge up front, was considered very disrespectful. They'd always try their best, even if it meant overcommitting. The misunderstanding was entirely on my end, rooted in my direct communication style. What I learned? Humility, first and foremost. And that empathy isn't just about feeling for someone, it's about deeply understanding their context, their norms, their unspoken rules. It taught me to ask more open-ended questions, to read between the lines, and to create space for indirect feedback. The project turned around, and my global leadership skills transformed. Oh, this happens more often than we'd like to admit, especially in corporate settings. I remember being a junior manager and witnessing a more senior male colleague repeatedly interrupt and dismiss a brilliant but quieter female engineer in meetings. He'd take her ideas, rephrase them, and present them as his own. It was blatant. My stomach would just knot up. Initially, I hesitated. I was new, still finding my voice. Would I be seen as insubordinate? This still hurts, remembering my own fear. But after a few weeks, I couldn't stand it. So, I started interjecting. That's an excellent point, Sarah, building on what you just said. Or, John, I think Sarah was just about to articulate that. I even pulled the senior colleague aside privately once, very calmly, and said, I've noticed a pattern, and it's important we create an inclusive environment where all voices are heard. The challenges? John was definitely annoyed, and for a while, I felt a target on my back. But the rewards? Sarah thrived. She started speaking up more, gained confidence, and eventually became a fantastic leader herself. And for me, it solidified my commitment to advocacy. Standing up for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable, builds integrity. Prioritizing. It's the daily dance of a working mother, isn't it? For me, it's about starting with the why. What are my overarching goals? For my family, for my career, for my personal growth? Once those are clear, every task, every request gets filtered through that lens. Does this align with my long-term vision? Is this truly moving the needle? If not, it's a no or a not now. I've learned the power of the no. It's liberating. I also compartmentalize fiercely. When I'm at work, I'm focused on work. When I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. no half measures. And I schedule white space, actual empty blocks in my calendar. That's where clarity comes from, where I can reflect on what's truly important versus just urgent. It's about being intentional with every minute. Distractions? They're the silent killers of productivity, aren't they? Especially now, with constant pings and notifications. My number one rule: proactive disengagement. Before I start a deep work session, my phone goes on airplane mode, in a drawer, far away. Email and Slack notifications are turned off on my computer. I often put on instrumental music, something without lyrics, just to create a sonic bubble. I've also found that batching similar tasks helps. Instead of checking email every 5 minutes, I designate specific times for it, say 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m. This prevents constant context switching. And honestly, it sounds simple, but having a clear, concise to-do list for the day and sticking to it reduces the mental chatter that often leads to distraction. Knowing exactly what I need to accomplish helps me ignore the noise. This is an easy one for me. Waking up early, like 5 a.m. early, before anyone else in the house is stirring, before the emails start flooding in, before the day demands anything of me. Those first 90 minutes are sacred. I use that time for myself, a quick workout, meditation, planning my day, sometimes just a quiet cup of coffee. It's my mental and emotional preparation. It sets the tone for everything. When I miss it, I feel it. My day feels more chaotic, reactive. But when I seize those quiet hours, I feel grounded, focused, and ready to tackle whatever comes my way. Whether it's a difficult negotiation at work or helping my teenagers navigate their world, it's the foundation for everything else. My personal philosophy, the one that really drives me, is rooted in growth, not perfection. As an executive, in a world that constantly demands flawless execution, it's easy to chase perfection. But I've learned that truly transformative success comes from continuous learning, from experimenting, and from being willing to stumble and get back up. For my kids, too, I emphasize that it's not about being the best right now, but about always seeking to improve, to expand your capabilities, to learn from every experience, good or bad. It applies to leadership, empowering my teams to innovate, knowing that not every idea will work. It applies to parenting, allowing my children to make their own mistakes so they can truly learn resilience. It's about building long-term capability and impact, not just short-term wins. That commitment to ongoing growth fuels everything I do. My biggest mistake. It still makes me wince, honestly. Early in my career, I was managing a small team, and we were pitching for a very significant client contract. I was so focused on demonstrating my own brilliance, my strategic thinking, that I completely undervalued my team's input. I was dictatorial in my approach, micromanaged every detail, and shut down dissenting opinions, thinking I knew best. My ego was definitely driving the bus. And we didn't just lose the contract. We alienated the client and demoralized my team. This still hurts, remembering the disappointment on their faces. What it taught me? That true leadership isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about empowering everyone in the room to be their smartest. It taught me humility, the invaluable power of diverse perspectives, and that respect, not just results, builds a high-performing team. It was a painful but foundational lesson in servant leadership. Oh, younger self, so much to tell you. First, I'd say, Stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. You're good enough, more than enough. That incessant need for external validation? It's a trap. Focus on competence, yes, but let go of the constant need to be the star. Second, I'd tell her to invest more deeply in relationships, both personal and professional. Nurture them. Those connections, that network of trust and support, will be your true currency throughout your life, far more than any individual achievement. And third, and this is crucial, embrace the messy middle. Life and career are rarely linear. There will be setbacks, detours, moments of profound uncertainty. Don't resist them. They are where the real growth happens. Trust the process and trust your own resilience. This is a great question. In my 20s, I was completely consumed by climbing the corporate ladder as fast as possible. I thought every promotion, every title change, every step up the hierarchy was the ultimate goal. I sacrificed a lot: sleep, friendships, even my own well-being, in that relentless pursuit. I genuinely believed that my worth, my success, was directly tied to my job title and how quickly I acquired it. And now, while career progression is important, I've realized it's not the most important thing. The impact you make, the people you lift up, the meaningful work you do, the balance you create in your life, those are the true measures of success. The title? It's just a placeholder. The truly important things are purpose and presence, not position. A major setback? Yes. A few years ago, we embarked on a massive strategic initiative at work, a new product launch that we poured years of R&D and significant investment into. I was leading the division. We had everything planned, market research, great team, but then a competitor launched something similar, faster, and hit the market first with a slightly different feature set. Our launch essentially fell flat. It was a very public, very expensive failure. My confidence took a huge hit. I questioned everything. I felt like I'd let everyone down, my team, leadership, the company. This still stings, that feeling of failure. Recovery was tough. I had to allow myself to grieve the effort, but then quickly pivot to analysis. What went wrong? What could we learn? We held tough postmortems. We were brutally honest. No blame games. And then we iterated. We redesigned, reprioritized, and relaunched a different product, smarter and stronger for the lessons learned. It revealed that resilience isn't about avoiding failure, but about how quickly and effectively you learn from it and adapt. It's about the grit to pivot, not just to persevere. Oh, stepping outside my comfort zone. That's practically a daily occurrence in leadership. But one specific memory stands out. A few years ago, I was asked to deliver a keynote speech at a major industry conference. Me, on a huge stage, in front of thousands of people, most of whom were far more experienced and renowned in the industry. My comfort zone is definitely smaller, more intimate settings, strategic discussions, not grand pronouncements. I was terrified. The imposter syndrome was screaming in my head, but I knew it was a vital opportunity for visibility, for my team, and for the company. So, I prepared meticulously. I practiced until my voice was hoarse. And when I got up there, my hands were shaking, but I channeled that nervous energy. I delivered the speech, and it went well. What I learned? That pushing through fear, even when it feels overwhelming, unlocks capabilities you never knew you had. That courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. And that sometimes, the biggest leaps in growth happen when you're most uncomfortable.